much better mood than last time. I'm not gonna hold you. Certain things kind of been a little weighing down, but you know, we're gonna pick it up. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go get me a smoothie. Let's go. Got the food. Well, got the smoothie. So let's do this. Height. Oh, that's embarrassing. Let's go. Lemon twist strawberry, man. I'm telling you. Okay. All right, let's go. Now, you guys need a proper update on what's going on. You guys need to know what's going on with this car properly. So I want you to stay tuned to the rest of this video because I'm gonna switch it up a lot. Like, I'm changing a lot of things now. Like, I've been doing a lot of research, and I feel like I've been saying this a lot, but I've been doing a lot of research. I literally upgraded my equipment, hence what's recording right now. I actually upgraded to something much lighter than a DSLR. Are you turning or what? What you doing, bro? Bro, they're driving in the turning lane. I'm gonna basically start off with the 1 Series, and then once we go with that, man, it's gonna be a very interesting video after this. But anyway, so with the car, as you guys know, that I do have the Fortunato 500 suspension on right now. As you can see from the last clip, yes, I'm driving the car currently when I technically shouldn't, but the car that I have is in the shop getting looked at. That's a whole nother story that I'm gonna have to tell you guys, but that'll I might have to put that in a new video, but I'll tell you what car that is later, because it's not the car that you guys think it is. As you guys know, I have Fortunato 500 suspension on right now, or coilovers I should say. The setup right now is a little bit tricky, and it's something that I am trying to work on. I even, as you guys know, I contacted the company, and it kind of gave me, they were very nice enough to give me some advice on what I should use in terms of spring rates and stuff like that. But that was after the fact that I bought the suspension already. So I decided to go with the default. I feel like that was a very noob thing to do, but it is what it is. So what's in the front right now is pretty good. It's an 8K spring. In the rear, it's an 11K spring, but the rear is just, it's a roller coaster in the rear right now. And it honestly makes me want to just take every single suspension component off and just put it back on. Because I feel like if there's any user error there, then I want to catch it and then figure it out. But I brought it to a couple shops actually and asked them, like, hey, how is the suspension? How does the suspension look? You know, like, I said, you know, honestly, I'm still a little bit of a noob. Like, I can build an engine, but I'm still a noob to suspension and the geometry of all of that. So I'm still trying to learn everything to that. And I can, you know, I can, you know, step down and be like, you know what, I need some help here and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, they all said it was fine, which wasn't the case at all. And that's okay, you know, it is what it is. A lot of people have been saying, you know, just change the rebound. You know, the dampening system and all that. Change that. Put it into the neutral setting, and then when you put it into the neutral setting, what you need to do is go up or down and just kind of see what fits your situation and things like that. But I've been doing that. It hasn't been working at all. So I contacted Fortunato and said, hey, I'm starting to think that with the situation going on, I'm starting to think that it is the spring rates in the rear, because the rear, it just, I'm telling you, it just, the travel's crazy. The travel is absolutely crazy. So I was like, you know what? So they said, you know what? Normally you're not supposed to go above like 2K when it comes to like the spring rates, but they decided, you know, maybe try the 14K and see how that fares out. So that's what I'm going to use. And whenever that comes in, and you guys know that little screw head that broke off? Yeah, I'm still dealing with that. Looks like there's some wildlife over here. Yeah, my front suspension is not happy at all. Been here before. Interesting road, that's for sure. Just taking my time. All right, so we got to talk about last night. Last night was quite interesting, to say the least. Mainly because I was granny shift the entire time, but that's mainly because of one suspension. Primarily the suspension. The engine can take it, but the engine needs a little bit love. The turbo's good. The turbo's good, so we're gonna get into that right now. But before we do that, I do want to show you what I was talking about with the wheels. I don't know if I told you about that. Yeah, I think I did. Not the wheels, but the fender, the rear quarter panel. If you guys know anybody that can fix this, like I did talk to somebody, and they're like, like I want you to go. I think I told you guys this already, but I'm gonna say it again just in case. I do want you to go, search around and see if there's any offers that you can, if you can get the cheaper price and still have good quality, go with that, which I felt like was pretty noble for them to do. All right, so unfortunately I don't have a proper light source right now, but as you can see on the tire itself, it's cutting through, and what that is this fender here. There's a split like right underneath here. I can't really show it, but there's a separation between the panel and whatever else is right here, or the fender lining. Like, you know how it's supposed to be. Dang, I gotta see if I can try to show you guys what this looks like. But there's a secondary lip right underneath there, and it's separated all the way until you get down to here, to this point. So it's causing all of these cuts down here as well. Oh, talking about tires, let's talk about that. So this is not because of the driving at all. This is just, I parked the car and a rock decided to say hello to my tires. So yeah. So instead of doing like a whole, fix a flat, filling it up and stuff like that, because I definitely had filled it up, held pressure for like 10 seconds, and then it just went away. So I have a new tire from that, and I'll talk about the tire at a different point, because this company is I don't know, the best in my opinion, but I'll get to that. Now let's get to the engine. All right, so here's the deal. I don't care what engine you run in. If it's a BMW motor and you're not running a Moselman thermostat, you're missing out. Because right now I have a stock cooler, and the highest this engine goes in terms of like coolant temperatures, it is literally like between 210 and 230. Like, it barely reaches anything higher than that, which is it. So talking about engine wise, you guys want to know the power, you guys want to know how the turbo's doing, how it's holding up this whole time. It is holding up very well. The issue that I'm having is not a turbo concern, it's more so an engine concern. The engine itself has some nuances to it where I'm gonna need either a new head or a complete teardown. But which is interesting because I can still drive it, I can still push it up. Right now, the only thing that PSI wise that I'm pushing right now, the highest is probably like 12 and a half. If you hit 15 right now, I'll be like overboosting, I believe. But right now, 12 and a half is primarily what that is. In terms of like when it spools up, it spools up relatively close to stock, but it is a little bit um, further up. So probably like instead of like it being, let's say, I think the stock is between 18 and 22, if I'm not mistaken. This one you're gonna be hitting around like 25, 27. So it's pretty close, but when a boost hits, it hits, and that acceleration is very, very different from just a tuned stock vehicle, which is very nice, or stock turbo. Horsepower range, if I'm being honest, like it does state that you can hit up to 600 horsepower on these turbos. My thing is that with my engine, my application at this moment, I'm not gonna see 600 horsepower. It's probably gonna reduce that by, not by half, but a decent amount. So I would say right now, but dyno wise, I would say, mind you, this is again with a non-healthy engine, I'm gonna say around 475, and that's with MHD. Wow, that's with the MHD Stage 2 Plus tune, running 93 octane. I do have the soft burble tune on it, but you don't really hear it unless, you know, you're in like first, second gear coming down, and that is fine. The issue, what's going on with the engine wise, and why, you know, I might need a new head, why I might need pretty much a tear down, is because there was one day I was driving to work. I was probably in like the 3,000 RPM range, going around like 65, maybe 70 miles an hour. A big puff of black smoke came out of the rear of the car. You just heard a boom. I'm like, what is that? No idea what that was. I was driving fine, and I was like, you know what? Let me pull off the exit. Exit was, as soon as I start slowing down, RPM start going down. It, like, the car start going crazy. Idle was like, the way it would fluctuate was like ridiculous. It was just, it was going like this all the time, very sporadic. Also, as soon as I was getting to a stop, the hesitation on the engine was crazy. I've never experienced anything like it. It was odd. I said, you know what? Actually, it shut off right at the light, off of the off ramp, and I did my best to kind of push it to the side, but it was in the middle of an intersection, so what could I do, you know? So the best thing I did was, actually this guy came with a motorcycle and he helped me push it across to the Shell gas station. So truly appreciate that guy for doing that. And that was like months ago. To continue with that, I brought it to BMW. And the next day I told him everything was going on. They started up the next day and said, we don't see anything. So I said, nah, that's crazy. They're like, it starts up fine, it runs fine. I said, you know what, do a deep dive. Look inside the engine, do borescopes, whatever you have to do, compression checks, all of that, you know. And they stated that the compression checks were sporadic. I think the only good cylinder was, I think it was either 3 or 4. Everything else was just like, the pressure was not good, which is interesting because the car drives perfectly fine. So everything I did to the car is like, yeah, bro, you're gonna have to take everything back off again, which sucks. But what else is going on with the engine is the valves. Throughout the cause of that situation, the valves are burnt. I think both the intake and the exhaust valves are burnt, if I'm not mistaken. One of the pistons hit one of the valves, so now there's an indent in the piston. That's that. So I hope you guys, as you're hearing this, you're hearing what's going to be coming up next. So that happened, unfortunately, but the turbo, I don't know, the turbo sounds good. The turbo spools nicely, it pushes hard. I'm a fan of it. And the reason why I would go with this engine is primarily, no, not this engine, with this turbo is primarily because you don't need a core charge. Literally, they build it, you buy it. It's like buying anything offline. You buy something and then they just ship it to you. You don't need a core charge. The only thing I would look out for is there's any machine bits on the inside of the turbo, because when I did, when I opened mine, it was like a little bit machining bits. Just clean them off, you'll be fine. Of course, you have to remember to lube the turbo before you put it on, and then start it up because you don't want to start up with dry. But in my opinion, I think it's a good buy. My primary goal, as you're looking at this shirt, is primarily to go to Grid Life. I want to run on Lime Rock, Stratford Speedway. I don't know. I don't really know too much about Stratford, but primarily my goal is to go to Grid Life. Hopefully they have another one in at Lime Rock, because I would love to go to Lime Rock. I actually went down to New Jersey for my birthday weekend. I drove my other car that I'm going to talk to you guys about soon. Not right now, but I'm going to talk about, that's another video. I'm going to talk to you guys about that soon, because that's interesting. And I just went there to kind of try and experience Grid Life, but it wasn't the Grid Life that, you know, is always advertised, where there's like a bunch of people. But granted, I did go there on a Saturday, and I'm starting to think that they do like the main event on Sunday. I think Saturdays are kind of like the trial days or whatever. We kind of figure everything out, fine tune everything before the actual race day. So that was probably on me, but there was no like true information, because on both days it looked exactly the same. So I was like, either the party wasn't there and it was somewhere else, or, you know, I don't know. Although the Grid Life videos I've seen, just this one was a little disappointing, but it was still good to see, you know, be in the atmosphere and see actual racing. I love racing, so that's the goal. Going to Grid Life, running on Lime Rock, and then also there is, I think they're called Experience. There's some, I forgot what they're called, but they've hit me up like 3 times on IG to go race with them, and my cars have never been ready. It's either like a suspension situation, or something going on with the engine, or it's just not up to spec to, you know, get there. So my goal was to go this year to race, but clearly it's not happening, unfortunately. But that's pretty much the basis of what's going on with this car. There's a lot more going on with this car, especially with the front fenders, the rear bumper, because the rear bumper is ugly. It's terrible. So I got some things coming for it. The front bumper is funny because I actually got that. I tried painting it, and clearly it looks like crap. Like when you're up close, but like from afar, like, okay, that's a little decent. You can tell like the color's off, but it's a little decent. But when you get up close to it, oh no, man. Oh no.
So I decided to paint my bumper, and it's gonna be like a really quick video, but it's not perfect. It's not going to be perfect. It's gonna have some rough areas, like so and so forth. And then of course I couldn't get to these areas here, which suck, but it is what it is. I do have plans to wrap it, so I'm not really too pressed on how perfect the paint came out, but I mean, it's pretty decent for a quote-unquote botched up job in a garage.
So the bro, B58J, I believe that's the name, but Roj, he been telling me, yo, you need to make more videos, you know, post it out. You got good videos, you got to make more. I was a little bit in a funk, so he kind of got me out of that, which I appreciate. There's a lot been going on between, let's say, the E46, this car, and the new car that I have. There's just a whole bunch going on. So he was like, bro, just make some videos. Like, people still want to watch your videos. You got a decent amount of followers. Please make more videos. So we got a goal where we're going to try our best to get a certain amount of subscribers on our channels. I'm trying to get a weight goal. I'm trying to like work out and stuff, gain some weight, because I was like a twig at some point. But if you see I'm getting a little bigger, man, let's go. I'm trying. But yeah, so that's our goal. So by the end of the year, we have a certain subscriber amount that we want to reach, and then we're gonna see. So you're gonna see a lot more of me. Hopefully my voice is annoying to you. You're gonna see a lot more of 2 cars. Yeah, 2 cars. The other one's gonna be more of a daily. I'm not gonna do too much with it, but this one you're really gonna see more. But I might do a little something to that one, a little something. But thank you if you stay this long. I appreciate you, truly appreciate you. You're gonna see more of me You can see more content. I'm going to try and do some content on TikTok. I'm not really the best at it, I don't think, but yeah, if you're interested on what my TikTok is, there's literally nothing on there, but if you're interested on what that is and you want to see content on there, please just put it down in the comments. Hit a like, hit subscribe. You're going to see more of me, and hopefully you're going to see me on track. If not this year, next year. So, peace. I appreciate you, truly.